My name is Gerrit Struijf. You are at Matebeleng Milling here. Matebeleng Milling has two major shareholders, which is my wife, Matebeleng Struijf, and myself. Matebeleng Milling was started operation in 2014. In Matebeleng Milling, we do a number of things. One of the key areas of enterprise is devil's claw, or sengaparile. And what we do, we buy devil's claw from around 50 villages in the Kalahari. We then clean it here. We process part of it for the local market, but the majority, about 98%, is exported to Europe. Mainly to Europe, a bit to South Africa, maybe this year even to Brazil. So that's one of the key activities we do. Other stuff we are doing, we do make dog food in Botswana for the local market. We also do musukujane, again for the local market. We started originally in 2014 buying devil's claw, and our plan was just to concentrate on the local market. But as we know, Botswana is a big country, but we don't have a big market. So we soon found out that the business could not work only on local market. So then we started exploring, can we export? And we managed to get our first order to Germany. That was a 10-ton order. In the process, we learned a lot on what to do and maybe more importantly, what not to do. But that's how we started exporting. This year, we are exporting about 50 tons, mainly to Europe again. What you need, number one, I think you need perseverance. It's not for everybody to export. And you need to be able to learn along the way. It's not a straight line. So yeah. Other issue, when you do devil's claw, you need to work very closely with government. For instance, devil's claw, you can't just go out and buy. You need to work with people who got harvesting permits, who got dealer's permit. And in that regard, we work very closely with the forestry department in terms of how they get the permits. Permit doesn't stand on its own. A permit is linked to people being trained on how to harvest sustainably. I always say this devil's claw, you only find it in Botswana, Namibia, and a little bit in South Africa. So this is where devil's claw can be got. So Botswana is like one of the few countries where we have it. So number one, we have to be very careful that harvesting is done in a sustainable manner. And if people harvest only the side roots and not the mother root, after 2-3 years they can come back and harvest again. The other thing, when you do devil's claw, we go out and organize our villages together with forestry department. We then come back after 3 months and actually buy the crop. We buy on a cash basis. We don't do sukoloto. So you need a lot of money to actually go out and buy. The other thing in business, I always say, one thing very important in business is your name. Botswana is big, but also very small. If they know that, Matebeleng Milling, they come and then they don't buy, or they reduce the price along the way, which they promised, they will say, these people are my here, and people will not trust you again. And that's why I say in business, your name is very important. There has never been a village where we've gone out to ask people to harvest for us, and we don't come back to buy. Even sometimes we drive 1,000 kilometers for 100 kg of devil's claw. But once you commit yourself, you have to be serious. And for instance, this year you go to a place like, I'll give you an example. You go to a place like Kakibana. We only got, I think, 200 kg, but the people were very enthusiastic. So next year when we come back, we are pretty sure we'll get more. So it's also investing. Look, at the end of the day, let's be frank. When you are in business, you are in business. BITC will not solve your problems. When you are in business, you solve your own problems. But from our experience, I feel like BITC has our back. You are not alone. If you run into a problem with trying to get a permit for export, or if you run into a problem along the way, they are just a phone call away, and they're actually very helpful. So that's why I said they are like a very valuable partner to us in our export development. They can't solve our problems. It's our business. It's our responsibility to sort it. But we feel they are there to help us in case we have problems. And mind you, there are always problems. Sometimes you export, you find your consignment is stuck in South Africa. SARS has arrested it, detained your thing, your container. So like I said, there are always issues, but it is then nice to have an organization like BITC to kind of fall back on, to ask for advice and to help you. The advice is, again, it's easy for me to talk, but it's for people to do it. And if you ask me what advice is there to export, I think number one, you need to be clear what you're exporting and that what you're exporting has a competitive edge. I can sell my devil's claw in Europe because it's a unique product. I can't sell my dog food even into South Africa because I will be too expensive. So you really need to know your product you are dealing with. And it's not like Botswana has no products. We have a lot of natural resources. We have mongongo, we have morula, we have a lot of stuff where these are unique products to Botswana. So you need to know what you're going to export. Key thing also, if you're talking to your customers, your market, let's say in Europe or in South Africa or whatever, you need to be sure that you are serious. Like I said earlier, your name is very important. Once they get to know that this guy is not reliable, you will not see them again. So again, you need to be serious. But on the other hand, Botswana needs to get more companies to export more. I know we are exporting diamonds, but diamonds are not maybe forever. So we really need to diversify.